After a week off at a 1-Up Nitro National Series, we are back for race number 4 of the 2023 season, where 25 races will decide a champion at the end of a long-fought Nitro National season, and race number 4 is here at Iowa Speedway for 88 laps around this really fast short track. It's going to be a lot of fun for the drivers and the fans watching, and hopefully for us as well. This is going to be a great ride for everybody involved, I'm sure. And alongside me to bring you all the action is Duke Gansack once again, and this race, honestly, track position is going to be really key for this one, because it may seem like a lot of laps, but they go by in quite a hurry, so you're going to want to be up front and stay there if you're going to have any hope of doing well here today.
Yeah, 88 laps at this D-shaped short track here in Iowa. Boy, what a great little racetrack we have here on tap for us today. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic race. This track is going to be, they're going to be running a lot on the bottom, but you're going to have the opportunity to defend a little bit on that outside lane today. And then we're going to see a little bit of tire wear by the end of the race. We're not anticipating a pit stop, but I'll tell you what, some of these drivers, it will be a track position race. But I think that there are some people who are starting a little bit farther back that are going to have the opportunity to spend their 88 laps really pushing hard and really trying to get to the front. And I think that that's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely. This is a close quarters racetrack where a little bit of contact's just par for the course here. So don't expect these guys to play too nice with each other, especially in a bid for an early season victory. As we can now bring you the starting lineup for today's 88 lap race under the lights at Iowa. Joshua Michaels gets his first pole position of the season. He lines up alongside Alexa Luschan, who needs a good run of momentum here. She's struggling a bit in the points. We'll see if this can help her out a little bit. Elijah Ironhouse lines up third ahead of the two-team Dayspring cars of Goforth and DeLello. DeLello came so close to the win last time out at Road Atlanta. Let's hope he can right the ship and maybe get that first win here tonight. Ryan Griffin, winner of the first 2 races of the year, he lines up 6th with Mixon, Runkle, Weaver, and Williams rounding out the top 10. Just ahead of Justin Hutchinson, making his first Nitro National start of the season in a 4th Finish Line Motorsports car. And we know how good Hutchinson is no matter what kind of car he's in, so expect that 22 to get to the front in a hurry.
Absolutely. Justin Hutchinson, definitely one of those cars I'm going to have my eye on for this race. And then, of course, you have to watch the heavy hitters. Ryan Griffin just has been pretty unstoppable this year, except for on the road course, But this is going to be a great race, and I'm really excited to see what Alexa Luschan can do starting in 2nd place. I think that's a great starting position. Obviously, you're starting up front. You're going to be on the outside, so it's going to be a little tough to start this race. But I think once that 50 car gets in line and starts ticking some laps off, I think that this could really be a good day for that whole team.
So with that being said, we have 88 laps under the lights at Iowa Speedway on tap for today, and we are ready to bring them to you live. This is the 1-Up Nitro National Series from Iowa Speedway under the lights. The green flag is mere moments away from falling on the field. With Michaels and Luschan set to get us underway under the lights at Iowa Speedway, the green flag is now in the air, and for 88 laps, these national cars will get underway, and Michaels is off to a good start. We are green at Iowa. Michaels dives it off into turn 1 with the lead. Luschan goes high here. That could be a problem because Ironhouse is already underneath her for 2nd.
Yeah, and look at that. The 03 is down low, too. That 50 car is going to have to get low quick. Everybody on the outside lane is going to struggle at the beginning of this race when you have the freshest tires, the most grip. And
and Luschan's into the wall.
My goodness.
And that's going to cost her a whole chunk of time. She's fallen from her 2nd starting spot to now all the way out of the top 10. Almost out of the top 15 now as Luschan falls mightily through the field. This is not at all the start this 50 team wanted to see, but it just goes to show you anything can happen in this style of racing, even with the best of drivers. And Luschan, and again she gets into the wall.
Oh, man, and the 52 followed her into the wall there. You're still stuck on that outside lane, and you're just doing more and more damage to that race vehicle right there, and that is just a really, really tough break for our outside pole sitter here in this race. And there's some contact from the 33 car to the 50 coming out of this corner.
And she's in the wall again off of turn 4. This is dreadful. Wow. She's fallen from 2nd spot. Now she's back in 25th place. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, look at the close quarters there's just nowhere to go on this racetrack. In all this traffic back towards the back of the pack, they're right stacked on top of each other. We'll see if this time, first time cleanly through down the front straightaway for the 50 car.
Yeah, she makes it this time. And a victim of that was Keon Daly in the 52. He started 14th. He's now back in the mid-20s as a result of Lucian's trouble. So a lot of trouble for some really good cars in the opening laps here at Iowa, but no trouble for Michaels so far. He's got a fairly steady lead of about half a second.
Yeah, well, Michaels jumped out to that start on lap 1. Just the grip on the bottom lane and the fresh tires really was helpful there. Jumped out ahead, and then Lucian had her issues, and that kind of stacked everybody up a little bit, so that was kind of an automatic lead. Meanwhile, we've had a pass for second place. That's DeLello, who has gone by Elijah Ironhouse for that second position, so swap those two in the running order. Maybe they're going to swap again, though. they're looking pretty racy on lap 7 of this one.
And we've got a side-by-side battle for 4th as well. That's Glenn Mixon in the 19, Cody Goforth in the 01. Hutchinson, like you said, he started 11th. He's already gained 5 spots since the start of this race. He's up into the 6th position, chasing down his teammate Mixon, who gets into the wall. That should allow maybe he'll try and wave Hutchinson through, and then maybe try and hold off Yepes in the process. But a lot of cars are getting into the wall in the early stages here at Iowa. It just goes to show you, with limited practice and only one attempt to qualify, there's not a lot of track time for these guys to get acclimated.
Yeah, you're right. And this track is so rough, so beaten up, and the surface just will absolutely eat these tires. Everybody's loose out there, and you're coming out of these corners, and you're pedaling, and if you aren't perfect with the wheel, you're going to get into that wall. It's really deceiving. It's down that front straightaway. You can watch right here, Joshua Michaels all the way around. It's completely curved all the way around this track, so you're never going completely straight on that front straightaway, and that's definitely what's causing all these issues for these drivers hitting the wall halfway down the straightaway. It is just a tough place to drive.
And considering One Up Racing has not been here in 3 years, that's another thing that they're going to have to keep an eye on, because we haven't had a lot of track time here in recent years, so it's going to be tricky for these guys to readjust, because some of these drivers have never even been here before. Lucian's one of the few who has, so that's a bit of a surprise for that 50 group. But Joshua Michaels, he's never been here before. Zachary DeLello, Ironhouse, they've all never been to this racetrack until now. But we're already an eighth of the way through this race, and DeLello's starting to close in on the 18 just a little bit as his teammate tries to join in, passing Ironhouse for third.
Yeah, those two cars are looking really good right now. The only few that have passed anybody after the restart, not the initial start of the race where they were too wide. Everybody on the bottom gained a few positions on the start of this race because of the Lucian thing, and then also because the bottom lane going through turn 1 and 2 was just a lot better. And you watch right now, that 8 car of Elijah Ironhouse lost third position, was stuck on the outside, and is now dropped all the way back to behind the 04, and will possibly lose a spot to the 84 as well. So this is pretty detrimental to be on the outside lane at this point in the race. I'm not sure if that's going to get any better today. You'd think that it might with the tires wearing down a little bit, but not totally sure. Can't be certain here at Iowa. So, you just want to try to stay on the bottom here as long as you can. That's what I'd say at least.
And the outside lane sure didn't help Alexa Lucian. In just 15 laps, she went from second on the start to 31st as they run right now. Absolute heartbreak for that 50 team. But she's got plenty of time to try and claw her way back up for the field, because I honestly think that is a good race car. She just had a bunch of bad luck at the beginning. But it's good to get it out of the way now as the two Team Dayspring cars swap positions. They seem to have realized Goforth's the faster of the two. DeLillo lets him through. So now Goforth takes up the charge to try and chase down Joshua Michaels, as he has led all 15 laps so far.
Yeah, that 01 car is flying right now. The past 3 or 4 laps has passed 2 cars, 4 position in second and third, and now is running in that second position. I think that Joshua Michaels going to have to keep an eye on the mirror right here with that 01 car in second place now.
Yeah, Michaels, he's doing a good job leading this race, and The last time Michaels went to victory lane was over a year ago at Las Vegas. So it's been a while for Michaels to have not won a race in a while. GoForce's last win came later that same season, actually in the season finale at Homestead was GoForce win in the Nitro National Series. He'd love to get a second one right here at Iowa to prove he's more than a one-track driver, but that 18 is going to be quite the hurdle to get around because that is not his teammate.
Well, if you saw through that corner right there, it looked like the 01 was running a significantly lower line, almost a whole lane lower than that 18 car, at least through turns 3 and 4, and we'll see next time by. But that is going to be a huge help, that 01, able to keep it down so low on the track, and we'll watch the 03 as well, see if the teammates can do it. Oh, here we're watching that lane, only a little bit lower, about a quarter of a lane lower that time than the 18, but the 18 just can't hold it down there in turns 3 and 4. And that's going to be key in this one. That's going to let GoForth get a little bit of air on that front splitter right there. It's going to push the car down to the ground, a little bit more downforce, and you're just going to get that much more turn. We'll watch again. Look, the 18 has missed it once again, but down the straightaway, that higher lane will carry a little bit more momentum. So we got a good battle on our hands right here for the lead between these two drivers. It's a really fascinating one.
And I expect if nothing goes wrong for anyone, I expect this to be the battle for the rest of the night because I don't see DeLello, he's not gaining any time on his teammate to try and double team the 18, and that's keeping Hutchinson and Mixon trapped behind as well. They're not able to get past the 03 either. So it's currently a two-horse race for this win, and we're only a quarter of the way through the race now. But regardless, this has just been a great showing for both Michaels and Goforth. Both of the Team Dayspring cars need a good run here to boost themselves up the points ladder because they both entered this race outside the top 20.
Well, you see here Elijah Ironhouse going to the bottom of Diego Yepes. That's going to be a completed pass come the back straightaway for the 8 car. And, you know, that car, he was running up in 3rd place when he got pushed to that outside lane, and that's the reason he fell back. So, that car could come back up through the pack. We've got the 22 who's been working on the 03 for 3rd. That car absolutely could impact this race. So, I think that there's going to be some comers and goers in this one, but you're right. Right now, the classic field, the 18 and the 01, for sure.
Checking in on the fastest lap point, looks like Blair in the 11 has snatched it off her teammate Hutchinson, so give the 11 car a bonus point if she can hold on to it for the remainder of this race, and I see no reason why that 11 car can't do that, considering the times are expected to get longer as the race progresses due to tire wear and other factors. But you can see Goforth and Michaels have stretched out their advantage to almost a second and a half, and DeLello has now been pushed up to the top. Hutchinson's gotten by, Mixon and Ironhouse have both passed, and now here comes Diego Yepes, pushed Zachary DeLello from 3rd all the way back to 7th place.
Yeah, and it looks like Mixon also, gonna get out of it right there. That could have been bad for Mixon, and now Ironhouse is gonna be stuck on that outside lane. Boy, oh boy, that's just brutal to get stuck out there like that. So we'll see what happens with this 8 car. I'm sure that he's gonna lose a few spots. But he was making a charge. That's unfortunate, but it's gonna be that's a tough sell to get back down to the bottom. Oh, right here. Might have a shot into turn 3. Don't think it's gonna happen, but hey, the 22 car has made it past that 03. That's why the 03 was stuck on the outside lane. So you're gonna have to watch the time every lap as they go by. See that 22 car and see if he's closing in on the leaders. I think that is something that we could expect here in this one.
Yeah, because regardless of who wins this race, we're going to have a first-time winner at Iowa Speedway because the 2 drivers who won here back in 2020, Emma Carter and Daniel Bouchard, are not in this race. They're both going to be in the Superstar race tomorrow night. But we're going to have a first-timer at Iowa Speedway, and the odds are it's going to be one of these 2, unless something crazy happens to shake up the running order later on in this race. Because Goforth's all over the back of that 18 car's bumper, but he's just not able to make the pass. I think he might have burned some of his good stuff early, trying to get by the cars behind and to try and even get into this position in the first place.
Yeah, well, if you saw it there, that 01 is really plowing going into turn 1, but boy, does he roll 3 and 4 good. Look at how close he's able to get to the rear bumper of the 18 through turns 3 and 4, but there's just not enough. He could sneak down right now, but yeah, he just goes into turn 1 and then plows up the track. You see him just no turn, no bite going into turn 1. And the entries of these corners, you might wonder why that is. The entries are so different because on the back straightaway, the angle in which you're going into the corner, you're coming off of the straightaway, whereas on the front stretch, it's curved. So it's a completely different angle of entry. You have different speed, and that's what's causing this 01 car so many problems right now. But he is staying right with the 18, and this is shaping up to be a really good battle. Boy, if they were able to get side by side, we could get a few more cars in this one, and I think that we would have a really, really fantastic race on our hands. Not that this isn't. Man, they are battling, and this is awesome to watch.
Yeah, you might get your wish soon, because Hutchinson's starting to claw the deficit down. It's down to a second and a half between him and Joshua Michaels, and he's bringing his teammate Mixon along with him in the 19. That's been what the Finish Line Motorsports car that's been struggling the most this season so far is that 19. Oh,
I think Goforth had to let off a little bit right there. That's why I said that. I think that I was just watching him. He's getting so close to that 18. He had to let off a little bit to not hit him. It's a little too early to be using the bumper, I think, maybe for the 01 car. We'll see. I mean, hey, never too early for me to use the bumper, but hey, I mean, he's being a little more respectful out there. That's pretty good from Cody Goforth, and he's sticking right with him, so it's all right.
And remember, Goforth had a really strong run in the Superstar race last week. He was deputized to fill in for the Revolution Racing team. He started third, was running in the top 5 all day until his pit stop, which drifted him back to a 20.
We got a problem.
And it's Ali Liara in the 23. Interrupting my thought. Our first retirement of the race comes on lap 35, and it is the 23 of Liara smoking into the pit lane, and that's her race over. Just like that. It's a tough break for that 23 team. They need something good to happen. It's not going to happen here, though. They're going to have to wait till Phoenix to get some momentum going.
Well, that's a shame. But, hey, we still got a great battle for first place right here. Joshua Michaels continues to lead over Cody Goforth, and just Goforth not very good through 1 and 2. And what's happening is, we got another problem. The 5 is coming out of the pit lane.
Yeah, it looks like a flat for Austin Runkle. He started this race in the 8th position. This is another team that needed some good momentum to go their way, and it's not happening for them. Runkle started 8th in this race. Now he's 2 laps down in the 41st position, and now he's backed up Hutchinson and Mixon. They're now going to go side by side for the 3rd spot, and all the while, Runkle's day has gone from average at best to now just hoping for attrition to move him up the order a little bit.
Well, I was going to say, watch how fast this 5 car is about to be on fresh tires, but this car is chugging along. Absolutely not at pace right now, holding up these drivers, and this is definitely going to impact the race. The 22 already has fallen some positions. Diego Yepes making a move, but nobody has gotten around the 5 car so far, and this is our battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That we're watching, and they're just being held up. Watch that time as they cross the line. See how far back they are from the leaders. They lost a 10th on that lap alone, and they've already lost over a half a second from where they were to these leaders. So really great for Cody Goforth and Joshua Michaels, but really bad for everybody else in the field because it's letting these 2 drivers really pull away.
And it's especially bad for Austin Runkle. He had a top 10 starting spot. He was doing a fairly good job, but a flat tire midway through the race, you can never predict that sort of thing. And for Austin Runkle, he's now resigned himself to a 4th finish. Unless he can unlap himself maybe once and then redeem himself a little bit in this race. But we just got a little over half this race to go, and it's going to be a tall ask for that 5 team. And they're teetering on the edge of falling out of the top third. Actually, they were in the top 30 in owners points going into this race, but they might not be anymore. So it's tough. And after this race, there's only one more after this one at Phoenix for these guys to use their 2022 points to lock themselves into the field. So Runkle's going to be in double trouble if he doesn't turn things around in a hurry at Phoenix.
Yeah, that's tough, and that car is really does not have any pace right now. I wouldn't be shocked to hear that the flat tire on that was not the only problem with that vehicle after today. Just a tough. Any day with a mechanical problem is a tough day. Nothing you can really do. And it's just something that you're going to think about after going home after a really tough race, and that's just a big time disappointment for Austin Runkle and that whole team that has prepared that car and come out here this weekend.
But if there's any redeeming factor for Austin Runkle, he's performing double duty this weekend. He's now going to drive the Revolution Racing 4 car this weekend. Oh, it's Freeman. He's got a flat as well coming out of the pit. So RFJ now goes 2 laps down, and there's Runkle passing him for position. Moved the 5 up to 40th. Oh, and is Freeman going to merge back up in the traffic? He gets a bump from Ryan Griffin in the process.
Man, that was really close with the 88
car.
Oh,
an iron house into the wall
now.
That was a pretty good impact from that 8 car. So,
I'm curious about all these flat tires. We'll see if that 8 car ends up with one. But all these people hitting the wall on the front straightaway. I wonder if just curls that sheet metal in on the side of the car, and then it cuts that tire down. I wouldn't be shocked if that was the cause of a lot of these flat tires that we're seeing right now, and I wouldn't be shocked if the 8 car had to make a pit stop after that big hit coming out of the corner. That was just a tough merge situation. Nothing anybody could do right there differently to make it better. Meanwhile, up at the front of the pack, 01 still is beating on the bumper of this 18 car all the way around this racetrack, and just nothing he can do to get around. At this point in the race, he's searching a little bit. He's running a little bit higher on entry in turn 1 than he was, but he hasn't been able to make anything happen as of yet.
And just to finish my thought from earlier, Austin Runkle, to redeem himself, he is running the Superstar race tomorrow night, filling in that 4 car, making his second career start in the top series. So that he can maybe redeem himself with a good run up there, because that's a really good car he's stepping into for this race. And he's a really good short track driver anyway, just some really bad luck bit him tonight. But at the front of the field, it continues to be Michaels at the front. He's locked up the point for most laps led in this race now, and he's starting to pull away from this 01 just a little bit as well.
Yeah, he certainly is, and that's just a little bit of breathing room that Joshua Michaels has not had for a lot of this race. I mean, that 18 car has been right with a ton of pressure right on him. So this is a little bit of breathing room for both of these drivers. Just chill out a little bit on lap 50, 51 here, and we're gonna regroup, see if we can figure out something new, see if you get some information from the crew chief, information from the spotter, that'll maybe make your line a little bit better. Maybe you could save up your stuff a little bit, maybe try to cool off your tires a little bit if you can. Sometimes you can cool them off if you're not running as hard as you were, and they kind of cool down over a few laps, and then you can go back at it, see if you can get them. So we'll see what happens here with the 01 and the 18, but for now, their battle seems to have relaxed, and we got another smoker down the back straightaway.
We didn't see it for very long, but I think that was the 72 of Billy Kidd making his first Nitro National start of the season. His day comes to an early end as well. It's a tough break for Roberts Racing in that 72 group. This is only their second race of the year for that 72 car, and Billy Kidd's first of the season, and it's going to end early through a mechanical failure of his own. But looking back now, we can see, we saw it for a moment, Austin Runkle's starting to pick up the pace a little bit. Maybe he's fixed whatever problem was plaguing him in the earlier stages of this race, because now he's starting to chase down the 2 leaders on his fresher tires. Maybe he'll be able to unlap himself, get one of those 2 laps back.
Boy, that's something that makes you wonder. I mean, could the whole thing have been avoided? That's something that only that team, only that driver knows the answer to, and that's just hey, tough day, but maybe you can go up there and pass the leaders, and at least you'll be able to say that you passed the leaders in this race. And hey, and maybe if that 5 car goes up there and tries to pass the leaders, we'll get a little bit of a mix-up here and an opportunity for Cody Goforth to go ahead and try to make the pass on the leader. We'll see. Maybe he makes the pass right here. He kind of went down low. He snuck down low, but it wasn't quite enough. That 01 still not very good into turn 1 in comparison to the 18 car, but boy, are they similar all the way around this track. These two have just been battling all day, and it's been absolutely fantastic to watch.
Well, keep in mind as well, if we go uninterrupted for the remainder of this race, they're going to catch the tail end of the field as well. That could shake up the running order as well, because, see, here's an example, the 94 of Logan Jones. If they catch him and get him in a bad position, that could allow the 01 past the 18 while the 18 tries to pass the 94. You don't know. But with 30 laps to go in this race now, 31 at the line, this is going to be a really close battle, but Michaels is starting to pull a gap. He's got a half-second lead now over Goforth, and unless the 18 can get held up behind the 94 a little bit, let the 01 close right back up, this could be game, set, match.
Yeah, well, something else I'm thinking about with the lap cars is that we saw how quickly that 5 car held up 3rd, 4th, and 5th place, who were side by side trying to pass. We saw how quickly they lost time. They lost almost more than a whole second in just 5 or 6 laps being behind that car. So if the 01 and the 18 both get stuck behind some lap cars, they could lose their gap over 3rd place, 4th place, even 5th place very, very quickly. And that would absolutely mean it's a whole new ball game in this one. So I'll tell you what, they've got more than just each other to worry about if they catch the lap traffic, and it sure does look like they're going to. They're really closing in on the back of the pack. Luckily, it's not very dense right now at the back of the pack, so it's kind of just single car here, single car there. Might be able to get by pretty easily, but it all depends on what line you choose when you catch them. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how well the 18 navigates that.
Yeah, it's the 94 pretty much all by himself, and then you got a huge pack in front of him. I don't know if they're going to catch that big pack once they pass the 94. They're definitely going to get the 94 by the end of this race. It's just a matter of, will they catch the others in time, is the question. And here comes that 5 car on a run. He's starting to close in on the back of the 01. We'll see if remember, these 3 are all Toyotas. Could there be some inter-team rivalry here as the 5 tries to unlap himself from the 18 and the 01? But the 94, he's a Ford. He's not going to want to pull over for these guys either.
No, and this is going to be real strange because they're going to catch the 94 car almost at the same time that the 5 catches them. So they're going to be surrounded by a car that is slower than them, and then they're going to be being passed by a car that's slightly faster than them. This could be kind of big right here. I'm not sure what to expect. I'm not sure if we've ever seen something like this going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see how it works out. I'm not sure, but this could be big drama coming up very soon in this one.
And it's really a tale of 2 races for D4 Motorsports. You had the 84, who was doing a solid job up in the top 10s, now falling back, still running in the top 15. And then you have this 94, who's about to go a lap down, currently running in the 38th position. So it's just a very unfortunate circumstance for a team that really another team that needs something good to happen to them, but they're having something sort of good happen with the 84, but for the 94, it's just been a really rough night.
Yeah, well, they're gonna have to share notes or something. I mean, that is a pretty stark contrast between those 2 race cars and their current running position in this race, and one of them right here is gonna play a part of this race right now, and the 18 hasn't caught him in a very good spot. He's stuck behind, slows down the corner. We'll see if he can get low. It looks like he will. And he's low there, so he's going to go into turn 1 side by side with him. It's going to go down into the corner, and he's still got him on the outside. He's going to be clear off the corner, though. That was a great way to minimize the damage from that car going by. So we'll see if the 01 can do a better job. Not sure, though. I think that the 01 needed him to be stuck behind that 94 for a little bit longer to have a shot. Oh, and the 01's going to get stuck. Yeah, that is tough for the 01 right there. He's going to lose a lot of time with this one. Being stuck behind him through the corner right there. Doesn't have a move off the corner. He's going to have to try to go low. He's getting tired of him. He moved him out of the way. Used the bumper to go forth, and that's the end of that story with the 94. Had to get around. Nothing else you could do there, and we'll watch to see what the 5 does here behind. But yeah, that was not good for Cody Goforth.
No, he lost about 0.2 of a second getting by the 94. Now, Runkles cleared the 94 as well. So, it's not going to be a matter of will the 94 hold up anyone else because they're all 3 seconds or more behind. It's just a matter of will these two catch the tail end of the field. Here they are. You got Zane Grayson back here, Tyler Pompey, Riley Hooper's a bit of a surprise back there. But you've got all these guys in the back. They're trying to hustle to try and avoid going a lap down, and then you have the leaders who are going to try and put them a lap down at the earliest opportunity. So it's a battle of wills here at Iowa Speedway. We're closing in on the end of this race.
Yeah, well, here comes Cody Goforth. Lost a lot of time behind the lapper, but has immediately caught up to the 18. So I don't know if he just was saving some in the tank or what, but he has gotten right back to the bumper of this Toyota ahead of him, and now he's really back where he was. And again, that 5 car still kind of breathing down both of their necks with the fresher tires. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that car and the rest of this race, but yeah, this is very fascinating. I think they're running out of laps, though. I'm not sure they're going to catch the rest of the field.
It's going to take something big if they're going to catch up, but for Michaels, this is a statement performance here at Iowa. He's had some good runs, no doubt about it, but maybe not to the level that Kings Motorsports were hoping of him at this stage of the race. But he's led all 72 laps so far. Could he pull off another one here?
Yeah, I mean, it sure does look like. I mean, you're right that he's led. Oh, and the 01 got really tight coming out of the corner. I wonder if he touched the apron or something right there. That was a tough corner for the 01. You can see what has happened to the 41st and 42nd cars.
Oh, we got another smoker down the back, and it's Kenneth Grant. I don't think he's going to make it back to the pit lane. Is it going to be a yellow flag? It is going to be a yellow flag on the racetrack.
No.
So caution flies for the first time tonight on lap 74, and that has just thrown a huge spanner into this race, because now, depending on how quickly we can get back racing, it's going to allow everybody else to close right back up to the lead.
Oh my goodness. Well, this has absolutely changed everything. That's why the 5 was charging so hard. You never know when that caution's going to come out, but now he's stuck 2 laps down in this one. And man, oh man, has this changed everything. Who gets down into turn 1 faster? And would it be crazy to make a pit stop here? I mean, you know, we watched the 5 car, but we think possibly the 5 had a little bit of a problem with that car, wasn't up to pace. So do you risk it if you're maybe back half of the top 10? Do you come in?
Well, here's the thing: if you're running in that first few cars, there's no chance you're coming in.
No, not at all.
This has been a track position race. I wouldn't even risk it if you're in a top 15 position. But if you're like 21st, say you're Alexa Lucian and need to make something happen, then you might want to make a pit stop. But at this point in the race, you're only going to have 10 laps to make something happen anyway. So this is going to be a real bind for these guys.
Yeah, I'm just curious about who that first one to pit is, because you figure that first car pits, and then as everyone behind that car is going to also make a pit stop. So wherever that car is, it could be higher up in the pack. It could be somebody that could challenge these leaders. We'll see what happens if anybody does come into the pits. It's such a tough call right here. Really difficult strategic situation to be in right now, with so few laps left in the race, but such a big advantage right at your fingertips if you want it.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I don't think anybody's taken the opportunity, though, because this is a track position race first and foremost, and if you pit now, you're gonna have a miserable time trying to claw your way back, even on fresh tires. It just goes to show you how key track position is in this race, because these guys don't seem to want to pit unless they absolutely have to. It's case in point, Austin Runkle and Ricky Freeman Jr. But at this point, well, hey, all these engine failures, it's helping Runkle and Freeman gain a few places, because now Runkle's up into 37th, so that's another point for him. Freeman up to 38th. It's just a matter of how many laps are we going to have left to race is the main thing. Because I think this is going to be a pretty straightforward one to clean up. It's just a matter of drop fluid on the racetrack. I wouldn't be surprised if we go green next time around.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked either. Where are these lap cars going to line up? Are they going to line up on the inside or are they going to the back?
They're staying put, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
So
interesting. Okay, well that changes things as far as third on back because now the '04 is going to have to pass those two lappers before he even gets to the top two leaders. So I'm not sure. That's got to be disappointing for that '04 and everybody behind. But the 5 car is going to be tough to pass on slightly fresher tires. The '94 might be slightly easier. It depends on how good of a launch that car gets. But yeah, I don't know. This thing is going to come down to the '01 and the '18, like we always knew it would. Um, in this one, but it's going to come down to turn 1. Whoever gets down there and whoever gets to the bottom first, I think, is going to take this one. And we'll see if Goforth has a good enough launch to get down there and be the one that can really make something happen. This is the best opportunity he's had. We'll see what happens.
it's going to be a 10-lap shootout to decide the winner here at Iowa between Joshua Michaels and Cody Goforth. Unless Yepes or Hutchinson can close the gap in time, the green flag's back out, and we're underway once again. Goforth's going to need to make a big send into turn 1, and he gets his nose under. He just doesn't have enough steam to get there, though.
Boy, could not have asked for a better start from the '01. My goodness, that was absolutely fantastic.
And again, he gets his nose in, but he just doesn't have the momentum.
He's able to run slightly lower, but you're right, just not enough. Just barely not enough. Man, oh man, we'll see. As the desperation kind of sinks in this one, we'll see if maybe the bumper is used. We've seen him bump somebody out of the way already. It was a significantly slower '94 car. But we'll see. Look, he's gonna. Oh, he missed the bottom slightly. He's gonna chop the corner, but he's actually losing time on that. Man, oh man, Joshua Michaels. The '01 got a good start, but Michaels got a better start. That was stellar work from the '18 car right there to keep the lead there over Cody Goforth and maintain so far against somebody that is really, really quick in this one.
Because if Goforth were to punt Michaels out of the way, he'd need to hope that Austin Runkle's close enough to him so they can freight train him on the top. Because unless that happens, Michaels can just slot in behind the '01 and put the bumper back to him again. So we're closing in on the end of this race at a rate of knots, and this race is still yet to be decided. Goforth runs really wide for 3 and 4. That's going to cost him a lot of time.
Yeah, just sent it in there a little too hard. You can see how hard that driver is pushing right now. He's putting that car to the limit, the tire to the limit, and just lost it a little bit on entry right there. Didn't lose a ton, but lost just enough where it's going to be, it's still a tough ladder to climb if you want to get up there if you're Cody Goforth. And boy, oh boy, has he had a really great race as well. You know, he's been running a little bit lower in 3 and 4 all day. He's had his nose right there, almost able to get past Michaels so many times in this one, but that 18 car is just too strong for him right now at this point in the race, and we'll see what happens in the final few laps that we have left in this one. But Cody Goforth is going to have to make kind of a crazy move if he wants to get by that 18.
And we only have 4 laps to go now, so time is running out for Cody to make a move here. Michaels, he needs to hope that Goforth keeps struggling back there. Michaels is putting on a really good drive here. He's trying to get his first career short track win, the 3rd of his career. He's only 3 laps away from making it happen now.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Joshua Michaels today has been so disciplined behind the wheel. He is absolutely not cracked under the pressure that Cody Goforth has been pouring on all night. And this has been a stellar performance from that 18 team. I mean, an amazing car, an amazing drive to hold off this '01 for the entire race and lead every single lap to this point. You know, of course, it's not over, but you have to mention how well Joshua Michaels has driven in this race so far to put himself in the position that even he's pulling away from the '01 right now. That's just absolutely amazing. These two cars have been so equally matched. Very, very well done from Joshua Michaels, who's coming around the corner to take the white flag.
1 more lap to go from Iowa Speedway. This is going to be it, the money lap here. Joshua Michaels dives it off into turn 1 for the final time. Goforth's trying to cut the corner close, but he's still a car length and a half behind. He's going to have to make a huge dive into turn 3 and 4. It's not going to happen. So coming through 3 and 4 for the final time, it is going to be Joshua Michaels getting his first win of the season, third of his career. He gets it at Iowa Speedway. A well-executed drive by him. His first career win on the short track, the third overall, like I said. Cody Goforth comes up just a little bit short, but man, what did he put on a good effort trying to get by that 18 in second place. Diego Yepes backs up his Road Atlanta win with a third. Justin Hutchinson fourth in his first start of the season. And Zachary DeLello makes it 2 top 5s in a row as well, coming home in fifth. Ahead of the biggest mover of the race, the 11 of Blair, moving her way up from 24th to 6th. Glenn Mixon, her teammate, in 7th. Alex Verget made a late race charge up to 8th, ahead of Ryan Griffin and Zachary Bilson, who also made a late charge towards the front of the field. From the back, he runs at the top 10. But this was Joshua Michaels' race from the moment Alexa Lushon had her troubles on the start, because no one else was really able to challenge aside from Cody Goforth, and even he wasn't able to mount a late charge until the very end.
Yeah, that was, I mean, from the seat of the 01 car, that had to have been such a frustrating race, you know, just barely not fast enough to pass that 18, but you were right there the whole time. That's just extremely frustrating, but that's what you get when you're facing a car and a driver that is just so fast, especially at a track like this. Man, oh man, Joshua Michaels, a fantastic job all day to be disciplined, to be patient, and to stay committed to that line and not ever crack under the pressure. That was absolutely amazing. And a fantastic, respectful race from all these drivers. Just amazing show here at Iowa, and I really enjoyed watching that one.
So from Duke Anzac and from myself as well, we say goodbye for now from Iowa Speedway. A great race was had here in America's Heartland. We'll see you again in 2 weeks at Phoenix Raceway for race number 5 of the season. We'll see who can come out on top there. Keon Daly won there last year. We'll see if he can do that again. But for now, it's his teammate Joshua Michaels that's on top of the world. He is your winner after a chaotic day here at Iowa Speedway.